Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
Hey guys, this is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, Legit Boss, and you are watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendos, and Larson.
Also Cal.
And welcome to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. Found right here, youtube.com/Steven Larson. I'm trying to man like two computers at once. And available anywhere fine podcasts are found. Also on the Patreon, patreon.com/Steven Larson. Got all sorts of great reward tiers, including $20, which I would speculate, nay, guarantee is best value. You get comic book. You can't really see the posters. There's one over here, top notch.
Oh yeah, you can.
Mecha Santa. It's all covered with stuff.
Posters. But beautiful posters, I must say. You guys have beautiful posters.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Comic book stickers, postcard with Steve and I's name written on them, by us. We don't hire anybody to do that work. We do it all ourselves.
Yeah, I've noticed. Man.
Every package shipped from our facility here is packed and shipped. Well, mostly by Steve now. He doesn't like we used to pack all the stuff in our back room here, and they took all that stuff home. And I'm more than happy to help ship stuff. And he's like, no, it's just easier if I do it.
So he wants to do all the work. Everything's touched by Steve's little hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when any of the friendos get stuff, it's Steve's hands.
Steve's paws, yeah.
Steve's paws are all over it.
Absolutely. Also, still going on right now, sale going on at Pro Wrestling Tees. Here's a graphic. Wait. There's a graphic.
Wow.
Sales going on till the 8th, which I believe is Monday, if my concept of space and time is correct. 20% off everything using promo code AMERICA. You can see up top here if you're watching this in video. If you're listening, I'm sorry. ProWrestlingTees.com/Going In Raw. We got the pizza logo, Friendo Fest logo, top seller, the Slow Wolf shirt. Hey, you're not me.
You're not me.
And also Cal, he has shop there too.
Yes, I do. Just go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Kaljak. KLJAK. You know why, kids? You know why, friendos? That's the way it's spelled that way. No C's. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. We're not average.
Nobody's
we don't
average.
need to put C's in things. And yeah, that's where you want. And look, I got one of my shirts on right now.
Beautiful.
Hey, I don't normally, in the business, you don't want to be the guy caught always wearing your merch. But for the sake of this sale, I'm going to be wearing my Kaljak shirts. This will probably be the last day I'll wear anything Kaljak.
Yeah.
So hey, please, I'm doing this to show you guys. I have stuff. I have merch.
And it's good stuff.
It's good art. I uploaded a couple new shirts. If you guys are curious, gotta go to the website. Check out ProWrestlingTees.com/Kaljak.
By all means, yes. The one I have the shirt that you can kind of maybe see.
Yeah, it's the one in the middle.
There. Yeah. It's comfy. It looks great. I've gotten several compliments on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And highly recommend getting yourself some Kaljak gear now before he's like one of the biggest wrestlers in the world, and is all the stuff on WB Shop.
You don't want to regret it. You want to do it now before something big happens.
There you go.
And I'm not telling you when, or not if, but when it happens. It's going to happen, kids. Come on, friendos.
Yeah. Okay. We got a new YouTube channel member. I'll do some Patreon shout-outs to new channel member, Elliot White. Thank you very much. Let me see if we got any new patrons real quick, and we'll get to the news. Nope, no one new. All right. That's out of the way. Let's get to the news now. So I woke up this morning. How was your 4th, by the way?
My 4th was very low key. Usually my family, we go up to Lake Tahoe and enjoy the fireworks there. Unfortunately, I was not able to make it this year, but if I can't celebrate, I go work out.
There you go.
So I went to the gym, my little private gym that I have. I went there and I got a good little workout. Felt pretty good. And then I had a decent little burger I made on my own. And the thing is, guys, I'm trying to diet down. I'm trying to lose some weight here. I'm doing the keto diet. I had a very keto-friendly meal. It was good. So it was nice. How was yours, by the way?
It was good. It was a long day. So I decided I was going to make some ribs.
Nice.
And so I did that. So that's like a 4-hour. If you slow cook them, that's like a 4-hour commitment.
I was going to say, how'd you prepare them?
Yeah, on the grill.
On the grill?
I don't have a smoker anymore, so I just smoke them. I just slow cook them on the grill.
You wrap it in tin foil and oh, really?
Just indirect heat.
Oh, okay.
And did that. went to a neighborhood gathering. They went to a friend's house. He had a bunch of pyrotechnics, had a lot of ribs, a little bit of beer, and I found a really good IPA from a local brewery. I'll tell you about it later.
Yeah, let me know. Let me get some IPAs.
Yes. Anyways, hope everybody else had a fun and safe 4th of July.
Yeah, as long as it was safe.
Exactly.
That's all that matters.
That's the most important thing.
Stay safe, you guys.
Speaking of someone who's playing it safe with their career, seemingly, that'd be one Jon Moxley.
Ooh.
Given his experience at WWE, he's thinking, I need to protect me, Jon Moxley, going forward. And that seems to be the case, even with his All Elite Wrestling contract. This is from Raja.com. Quote, according to a Raja.com source, Jon Moxley's new contract with All Elite Wrestling is a 3-year deal with the option for him to opt out after 1 year. Considering, I'm sure he signed, probably like a 3-year deal in WWE initially. And then at least a year left on it, he wanted out of there. He's probably thinking, man, I wish I had some sort of option at some point in this WWE deal, and then I couldn't have spent this extra year just hating life working WWE.
Yep.
So it seems to be the case where he's like, okay, I'll give this All Elite business a try for a year. If it's not to my liking, I can opt out. I can go to Japan. I can go to GCW. You see that gif of that dude doing the 630 out of the ring, putting a guy through a door?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, my God, that was insane.
Where was this at?
At GCW.
I didn't.
It's like a backyard show.
What? Oh, it's a backyard.
So, I mean, they had like a ring set up, and it looked as professional as a backyard match could be. So he runs, he jumps out of the ring, does Ricochet's finisher, jumping out of the ring, off the top rope.
Yeah.
And there's a dude laying on a door that's rested between two, what do they call them?
What, horses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he puts the guy through the table and wins the match that way.
Oh.
It was a pretty impressive feat of athleticism.
He did a 630.
Yeah.
Like how Ricochet does a 450. Is that what he does?
Well, Ricochet does the 630 his finish.
Oh,
off the top
okay,
rope.
yeah.
But
So
this
that
guy
guy
jumped over the top rope to do it.
Oh my God.
It was nuts.
Does this man have no fear?
Apparently not. And he hit it clean too.
Well, that's insane. I'll check that out later.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was all over the place on wrestling Twitter this morning. Anyways, so if Mox decides after a year, I'm not into this All Elite stuff. They're just as goofy as WWE is. I want out. He has that option now, which is smart business move on his part. I guess he's learned from his experience at WWE that you don't want to tie yourself down with long-term commitments if you have any hesitancy about the quality of the product putting out there. That being said, I would think after his match against Joey Janela, he's probably going to feel pretty good about his lot right now in All Elite Wrestling.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he main evented Fyter Fest.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like when he talked in the Jericho podcast. His whole thing was, I can do anything. I can do whatever I want now. And I'm sure, with his first year in AEW and then after that, there's tons of stuff that he can do because he has the market for it. Mm-hmm. I mean, like if he wants to go film a movie, he can go film a movie. He can do anything. Mm-hmm. If he can make cameo on TV shows, he can go work for any other company if he feels like it. And that's just something that I'm sure he always wanted. Like if he can just opt out on a whim, and you can't really do that with WWE because they have to control a lot of the things you do. Mm-hmm. I mean, they have for liability reasons for sure, but with him, his personality is so spontaneous.
Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah, he's probably like, if I don't like it, I want out.
Yep, totally.
Just 1 year. 1 year is not that long at all.
No, yeah, he's got all the leverage right now as far as his career. Another interesting bit from this Raja report, they said, quote, when Moxley initially decided to leave WWE, he had told both Vince McMahon and Paul Levesque that he was intending to take a year off to heal his body and his brain, so the assumption was that he would be returning to the company in 2020. In fact, the source adds that WWE was so sure that Moxley would be back in the WWE, they had already planned for some tentative creative for his comeback at the Royal Rumble next year. It's not even a full year, though.
That's weird because he was out for 9 months with
the bicep tear.
Yeah. And then he had that staph infection. Mm-hmm. So, in a sense, like, why would he say to them, oh, I want to take another long extended break? I mean, one, obviously, is for injury, but then it's like he needs another one mentally and physically when he just came back. Mm-hmm. I mean, that to me just kind of says that they weren't really planning on anything with him, and he knew that right away. Mm-hmm. So on that assumption from them, that's kind of ignorant.
Oh, yeah.
That's super ignorant.
It is. And it's also taking their talent for granted. And you're like, okay, there's no other place that's a large enough platform for Dean Ambrose. There's no way he's going anywhere else.
Yeah.
He'll take some time off. He'll come back.
Yeah.
And it's the assumption that, the WWE views themselves, at least have for a long time, ever since they bought WCW, as the only game in town, really.
Yeah, exactly. But it's weird, too, because they point out the existence of AEW, whether it was Sami saying it in front of the crowd or it was Stephanie McMahon pointing it out backstage. But obviously AEW wasn't really a thought when Moxley was around, so I'm sure at the time they're like, oh, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Let him take a year off. Let him, pour his oars out the water, know. But then now it's, he played it well.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything to burn any bridges. I mean, maybe he kind of done the Jericho podcast, but
maybe.
he conducted himself professionally enough to where he said, no, I don't want to resign. I want to do something else.
Yeah.
And he never alluded to what that was. And obviously now we know what it is, but like he said in the Jericho podcast, that wasn't really on his mind. He said if there are no more promotions left, he would go make one of his own and start from scratch and just train whoever.
Just do his own thing.
It's pretty ambitious.
Yeah, it is. It is. And by all accounts, he's been smart with his money. He's not doing this for financial gain per se. He's just doing it because he wants to do it.
He just wants to do it.
I'm sure the money's good for him.
I loved it when he said, let's say hypothetical. Let's say they offered me $10 million. What am I going to do with $10 million?
I paid off my truck.
Bought my mom's house. Bought my own house.
What do I need that money for?
What do I need that money for?
I know, that was pretty funny.
That was awesome.
So it'd be interesting to see in 2020. It's so far it's been going good for Mox and AEW. Great match against Janela at Fyter Fest. He's going to be he's got a program with Kenny Omega right now.
That's
going to be a hell of a match at All Out. And so long as they can keep up the momentum with him, he's given the creative freedom to do what he wants to do. And he's still seemingly offered a bit of flexibility when they're not busy. He can go to Japan and work some dates. I'm sure he can do some indie stuff. I know he did some stuff for Northeast Wrestling. I think he had a match against Pentagon Jr. Is having a match against Pentagon Jr. coming up. So I'm guessing if they can find that sweet spot that balances his obligations to All Elite, he can still do some extracurricular stuff that tickles his fancy.
Yep.
He'll be totally happy.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm sure getting paid a pretty decent chunk of change for it. Speaking to somebody who's probably making a pretty decent chunk of change these days, Good Brothers.
Yes.
Maybe. News broke earlier this week via PW Insider, quote, the belief is that Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, Bullet Club, have agreed to terms on new WWE deals but may not have signed them yet. All signs were that the duo would be exiting this fall when their current deals expired, as they had turned down some lucrative 5-year offers from the company. At the time, those close to the duo had pointed to the creative as a major reason as to why they were looking to exit. It would appear being placed in a top heel group with AJ Styles may have changed that. I wonder if AJ's name was in the Bullet Club thing. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't recall.
We have not been able to confirm they have actually signed the deals. Meltzer in the newsletter this week spoke about that as well, more or less saying the same thing. They've either agreed to or actually have signed new contracts, long-term, probably 5-year deals. It's interesting that, it seemed all signs seemed to indicate they were out the door. They were probably going to All Elite, given their history with the Young Bucks, going back to the Bullet Club days. But it seems like the pull of huge dollars from WWE, plus maybe working with AJ Styles, assuming they don't break him up again via some draft or superstar shakeup, which they shouldn't have done the first time.
Yeah.
They'll be sticking around WWE for another 5 years. And you know what? If that's what makes them happy, more power to them.
Yeah.
As excited as I would have been to see them in All Elite actually apply their in-ring abilities to the fullest, because I really feel like we're seeing a fraction of what they can do in WWE ring.
Yeah, they're really not exposing them as much as they should as far as like talent goes. I wonder though, how old? I know Gallows is actually not that old. He's like
35.
Yeah, he's like 35. And then how like Carl Anderson's probably
39.
39. Okay. And then AJ's in his 40s. So I'm trying to figure, like, if these guys sign like a 5-year deal, like I can see Carl probably hanging it up after the 5-year deal, maybe. And then like AJ he'll probably finish out the rest of his career in WWE.
He said this deal's his last one.
And then like Luke Gallows, I mean, I'm wondering what he's gonna do when that time's up.
I don't know. He has a wrestling school.
Oh, and he has a tattoo parlor.
Yeah.
So he's invested his money pretty wisely with what he's doing. So I mean, it's interesting to see because, like you said, it looked like they were on their way out. It seemed like they're like, they haven't gave us anything creative wise. Like, they have a whole catalog of things they could do for them because of the Bullet Club and them as a unit there. I don't really know. This will be interesting because, like you said, we haven't seen a fraction what they really could do. Mm-hmm. I mean, when they first debuted, in the LA show at Raw, dude, they were like awesome. And I even remember, because I think, where was I when that happened? I don't know if I was in development or not, but there was talk that they were showing up around the Performance Center, so we didn't even know when they were coming in. Yeah. And then when we saw them come in and just who was it, the Usos?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
And that set a precedence that these guys are here to kick ass and take the titles and be the next big thing. Mm-hmm. And then it just slowed down like not too long after that.
I know.
And it just
really, once they split up the club is when they started losing steam. They had a tag title run going to Mania, but everybody remembers that match because the Hardys came back.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a series of missed opportunities. It has been for the club, for Gallows and Anderson. So hopefully now that they got some sweet new deals, I hope there's some good creative laid out that will hopefully be adhered to going forward with the renewed partnership with AJ Styles. Those guys all have great chemistry. Yeah. Their first run together was tons of fun when AJ was feuding with John Cena. Yeah. Hopefully we can see something comparable to that with short-term Ricochet, long-term whoever else that might be.
Yeah. I wonder if another reason why these guys signed is because they, I don't know I think Luke Gallows might have a family. I'm not sure if he does or not.
I don't know either. Carl Anderson
does.
Yeah.
Same with AJ.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times these guys are going to resign. They'll have new contracts that allow them to work lesser dates so that they can stay with their families. Mm-hmm. I mean, man, I think look at Carl's Instagram or something. He's got 4 boys,
3 or 4 kids.
3 or 4 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to think about their future, why they're doing this. So a lot of the reasons, we'll get a steady paycheck, if they're under contract, this is the amount they might get. Yeah. Obviously, they're looking towards the future more than anything. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean,
based on social media, Carl Anderson looks like he's got a pretty sweet house. It's like around the lake or something like that.
Yeah. I think he lives in Ohio.
I think so.
Yeah. Little house off, in Ohio. Good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Good for them. Bummer they're not going to all AEW, but anyways, that's just me selfishly saying that.
I know. Well, you're an AEW guy.
Well, I'm kind of the cheerleader here. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm whatever. Anybody.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's one. Good,
I'll like AEW and I like WWE.
I just want good wrestling.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And I want talent given an opportunity to make good money and good opportunity to showcase their skills. That's all I really care about.
Yeah.
And recently, I just feel like AEW's done a better job of that.
Yeah.
But before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, Quip. Packing your toiletries is almost like Tetris. It's a delicate game of stacking and space hacking. But that's why Quip electric toothbrushes work just as well on the road as they do at home, because their compact and wireless design easily fits in any nook or cranny of your carry-on.
Also, Quip's got the soothing sonic vibrations that are effective for cleaning your teeth while still being gentle enough on your sensitive gums.
Plus, Quip's got a handy 2-minute timer that pulses every 30 seconds to tell you, hey you, it's time to brush the other side of your mouth. So you can brush your teeth evenly, because up to 90% of us don't brush for a full 2 minutes or clean our teeth evenly. I guess we'd skip to the side or fronts or back.
Dude, just nail the front because that's what they see, right?
Exactly.
Keep those. You know what? No, gotta get everywhere in that mouth.
Everywhere.
And Quip's brush heads are delivered to your door every 3 months for just $5. A friendly reminder that it's time to toss the old gross brush head out in the trash and stay committed to your oral health.
And those are just a few of the reasons why I love Quip. From the sonic vibrations to the 2-minute timer, it makes keeping your mouth clean easy, all while never having to leave the house to get a new brush. That's why I'm taking it with me when I go on vacation here in about a week and a half.
Oh, nice.
I'm just probably going to go to the in-laws' house for a few days.
You know what? While you're there, you make sure you have your Quips with you.
But also, I'll have a clean mouth the whole time.
You have a clean mouth. Anyway, Quips starts at just $25. And if you go to getquips.com/goinginraw, you can get your first refill pack for free.
That's right. Get your first refill pack for free by going to getquip.com/goinginraw. Thank you to Quip for sponsoring today's episode. And you're really helping out Going In Raw by going to getquip.com/goinginraw. Again, that's GETQUIP UIP.com/going-in-raw. All right, this is interesting reporting here from the Wrestling Observer himself. Dave Meltzer, coming up here.
Dave Meltzer, who I've met a few times.
I shook his hand once.
Do you do like the Superman 2 thing when you shook it?
Oh, because he was so strong?
Yeah.
No. He was sitting ringside at PWG during intermission with his notepad, and I was going to get a bottle of water, and it's like, oh, Dave Meltzer's there. Hi, Dave. Thanks for your work. That's all I said. I did see him, though, at StarCast 1. I was going up into the lobby to do something, and he was walking down the stairs to go work out.
Yeah.
And he had his wristbands on.
Nice.
Like he was expecting like a squat rack.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they had the hotel gym. I'm guessing not a full squat rack.
I don't think they have a lot of hotels carry squat racks.
So he looked like he was intent on having a serious leg day. Squat rack, deadlifts, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, so word coming out of Raw this week that backstage the vibe was more or less largely what it has been. We heard that Heyman was sitting next to Vince at gorilla position, but there didn't necessarily be any overall huge seismic changes backstage in terms of how the show was conducted. However, what we saw in front of us did have a different tone, it felt. Dialogue felt snappier. Corey Graves said a cuss word.
Yeah.
And we saw some new storylines introduced, some of which kind of harken back to early aughts, if you will. And apparently, according to Dave, Paul was responsible for pretty much all of that. And there's a really good reason why they're doing that, and it's to appeal to a very specific demographic, that being teenage viewers. That would be like their average or the median, can't remember which one it is.
Yeah.
Viewer, like in the Attitude Era. It was all college guys watching during the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
And now like the average viewer is like 50 years old. So they need to get younger in terms of their viewership.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that we had all the explosions during the opening of the show, including Corey saying, holy shit. Why there was an angle between Mike and Maria Kanellis. Also, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Heyman was responsible for the Street Profits making the appearance. What he has to say. Quote, the Street Profits coming were a Heyman move. A new booker always wants to introduce new talent. Again, Heyman clearly wants new talent that he believes will appeal to younger fans. Ricochet also falls in this category, and his beating Styles first last week is in a way for him to be elevated past the 50-50 mid-card. They debuted holding the NXT tag titles. From a technical standpoint, this was Heyman asking for them for television, but they are still considered not on Raw, but as NXT talent, and will continue to work NXT house shows while doing TV on Monday. So I guess it's kind of similar to how Aleister Black, Ricochet, and for a time Gargano and Ciampa were called up, where they just show up on television, but otherwise still working NXT.
So I said that the other day. I was like, the reason why they have them there showing the NXT titles is to show, hey, here are NXT stars. Where do you see them? You have to go to the network to watch them. I knew that right away when they came in with the titles. And people were like, is this their Raw debut? Is this them finally on the main? No. They're just showing the personalities that they have on NXT.
Yep.
It's easy. That's the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah, and their energy and personality is something. If you want to inject some youthful energy into a program, bring in the Street Profits.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some people were dogging on that segment with them.
Oh, that was great.
I thought it was great. I think it's a lot of people are looking way too into it. What it was, it's just them being themselves.
Totally.
Or they're showing their personality. It's not. I mean, don't take it like, oh my God, this is horrible. Look, they don't make any sense. They don't need to make sense for the episode of Raw because it wasn't a debut. It was just showing them this is the champs in NXT, just like you said when they brought Ricochet and they had Aleister Black and Gargano and Ciampa. I mean, different scenario when they came up, but like I said, if anything, they're just showing what they have in NXT at the moment.
Yeah,
so
totally. Meltzer also noted in this week's newsletter that apparently the change, at least for a week, made a difference, saying, quote, but the key was the show with all the gimmicks, shocks, and special effects. He was really into the pyro.
Yeah.
He wrote a lot about that, saying it's like Hollywood-level special effect pyro.
Wait, Meltzer liked the pyro?
Yeah, he was really putting over the pyro in the newsletter.
Oh, he must have had a great 4th of July.
Maybe. Or he just, that was his 4th of July. I don't know. Continuing, led to a huge increase in viewers under the age of 35 and teenagers, the group hardest to reach. Grew big in the second hour and still increased in the third hour. and we're up 37.5% from the prior week. That's a pretty huge jump.
Yeah.
And that's something else. If you can get people who are usually used to consuming their entertainment on one of these things to sit down in front of the television and actually watch. Later on, he goes into the numbers a bit more, and it seems to indicate that it wasn't so much that teenage viewers or any of the demographics they saw an increase were people who were going in to their respective rooms or whatever, turning on the TV themselves. It was a situation, I guess, based on Nielsen ratings, where it was viewership per household was up.
Yeah.
So it was a situation where maybe people's folks were watching wrestling and they came across something and was like, oh, this looks interesting, and sat down and started watching it.
And that's the thing. A lot of saying Heyman and having Bischoff, it was that, okay, new excitement. That's all it was. So it's keeping fans that don't normally watch as much to tune in because of that very reason.
Yeah.
And then I said this earlier, like the other day, what they need, the biggest things that they need to happen is having that first hour be really good, and then so that most of the people can carry on into that third hour. Like those are the main keys.
Yeah.
Hot first, second hour, it's good they had an increase because that carries over obviously to the third hour.
And that's word of mouth too. If it's a good first hour and people start talking about it and people start sharing the gif of all the explosions, open the show on Twitter, people want to check it out. And then if you got a hook end of the second hour to lead to the third,
that's exactly
hopefully you have some audience retention.
Yeah.
Still, the difficult part is the 1849 demographic is always the most prized because that's apparently the one that has the most disposable income.
Yep.
And teenage viewers, as I said, they consume their entertainment in vastly different ways than we did when we were that age.
Yep.
I mean, we didn't have smartphones when we were teens and 20s.
Like those kids are on their phones constantly, no matter what it is. So it's like keeping their attention for 3 hours. That's a really tough thing to do.
Yeah.
So for them to find ways to get those kids off the phones to watch the TV or whatever, that's a huge deal.
It is.
It's tough.
And at least, like, one of the things I found encouraging about bringing in Heyman to head Raw is that I know he's had his ear to the ground forever. He's pretty in tune to what's going on pop culture wise in the world of wrestling. He's a really smart, savvy dude. And apparently with Bischoff, he doesn't hardly even pay attention to wrestling anymore.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting seeing what he can come up with after he gets caught up to speed in terms of matching Heyman creatively.
Yeah.
But maybe – sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to kind of say with Bischoff, I mean, like you said earlier, like he's more of the guy that can work better with like Fox executives. Yeah. So I don't know how much input he's actually going to have creative-wise. I mean, that might be something to where – the team over at Raw might carry over for SmackDown for that case, especially if that most likely would be the role for Bischoff. But I mean, I have no idea for that in that regards, how much control he's going to have creative wise. I mean, SmackDown is the shorter show, and in a lot of regards, it's not as big as Raw. But now that it's going to be on Fox it's going to turn into that main show. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do if Heyman's going to double duty as the main dude in Raw and then like the co-creative guy as far as like SmackDown goes.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I don't know either. It's going to be interesting to see. I guess Bischoff's not really going to start taking the reins till after Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. Do you want to talk about the G1 shows coming up Saturday a little bit? You going to try to watch it?
I have my own show on Saturday.
That's right.
So I most likely will not be able to watch any of the G1.
Yeah, I won't be able to watch it live because I don't have access. Hopefully it's on New Japan World on Sunday. And if so, then I will. If not, then I have to wait.
Yeah, I got my own match. So.
Oh yeah, let's plug that now. It's at this Saturday, right?
Yeah, this Saturday, the Colonial Theater at 6:30. It's the Virgil Flynn Show Legacy. We lost our really good friend Virgil Flynn last year. He was kind of the heart of Northern California wrestling, and he was well known throughout, the entire state as far as like, journeyman guys who've been around forever. I mean, he was in the first, what was that show? Global Force?
Yeah, he was in the internet title match.
Yeah, he was like in the very first internet title match. Awesome guy, great family. He has a lot of students that he was teaching right before his passing. So if you guys are in the Northern California area, Sacramento, Bay Area, wherever in California, please tomorrow, don't just attend the show because I'm wrestling. That's, go to the show to support Virgil Flynn. I believe a lot of the proceeds for this show is going to go to Virgil's family. So you guys do yourselves a favor. Go watch the show. There's a lot of good talent that are going to be at the show. I mean, you'll see me there, obviously, taking on Super Beast and Drake Frost and Triple Threat. Big Hoss match. Everyone in this match at least weighs over 250. I think Frost weighs 330, and
oh wow,
I know Super Beast weighs like maybe 250, 260.
Yeah, he's a large dude.
So three big dudes just going at it. So if
That
you guys
should be
have a chance, show starts at 6:30, Sacramento, Colonial Theater. Show up. If you got nothing else to do, go watch your pal Cal wrestle. Why not?
I'm gonna try to be there for sure.
Yeah.
G1 this Saturday night. Again, I don't have access, so I can't watch it live. But the card's pretty stacked. You got Okada versus Tanahashi. I think for the first time on American soil, renewing their epic rivalry. That should be great. Might be another time limit draw, but it'll still be awesome.
Yeah.
Kota Ibushi taking on Kenta. I think this is the first time they've ever wrestled. I could be completely wrong about that, though. Kenta's first match since leaving WWE. He's really making a point of saying, I wasn't allowed to wrestle how I really wanted to WWE. Now's the time for me to really show off what I can do. After that, Sonata versus Zack Sabre Jr. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Cold Skull versus Zack Sabre Jr. Next, Evil versus Bad Luck Fale. These are all G1 matches, by the way.
Yeah.
And then finally, Will Ospreay, who's having maybe the best year of anybody this year, versus Lance Archer. I think he's a Texas local. I know he's been in the area promoting the show like all hell.
Yeah.
Trying to get a little turnout.
I remember he was on Colt Cabana's podcast talking about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you got some undercard matches. You got Jushin Liger, Juice Robinson, and Yano taking on Bushi, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito. That'll be good. Yoshihashi, Steve's favorite wrestler, and Hiroki Goto taking on Chase Owens, the Crown Jewel, and Switchblade Jay White. Shota Umino and Ishii versus... Wait, really? It's a handicap match? Red Narita, that's getting the card from SE Scoops.
Okay.
And Roppongi 3K, Sho and Yo stepping up to the tag champs, Tonga Low and Tama Tonga. Looks like Sho and Yo are getting the push up to heavyweight potentially, which is good because the heavyweight tag division in New Japan's pretty thin right now.
Really?
It's Guerrillas of Destiny and Evil and Sonata, and that's pretty much it.
No. Yeah.
So Yo and Sho are pretty jacked, especially for junior heavyweight. So that's pretty cool. Who you got winning the G1 this year?
Dude, I have no idea. I'm gonna go with Will Ospreay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
I think because like you said, he's having a great year, and like he says he wants to be the guy. He's ready to be the guy. He moved to Japan for that very reason. I think he knows where he belongs the most for the time being. And he's so awesome, man.
Yeah,
I watched him and Cobb go at it at one of the Ring of Honor shows. It was amazing.
Oh yeah, it was a good show.
Dude,
it was a good match.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good match.
So, and obviously he's feeling himself too, because we're gonna talk about it here in a bit his little Twitter battle with him and Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
So I think this is Will Ospreay's year, man. He's awesome.
Not a bad pick.
Yeah.
Not a bad pick. I'm still trying to decide between Kota Ibushi and Tetsuya Naito. Kind of feel like Naito is probably gonna be the guy. I know the relationship between All Elite and New Japan isn't that great right now. However, I would be surprised if New Japan wants the option of their back pocket of doing Kota Ibushi versus Kenny Omega at the Tokyo Dome this year.
That'd be amazing.
It's a match I'm guessing they both want.
Yeah.
They've wanted for a while.
Yeah.
Didn't happen while Kenny was in New Japan.
Yeah.
He has in his contract that he can do a match there, assuming it fits in his schedule. To have that option, it might not happen this year, but it'll probably happen.
I will say on speaking of Kenta, because I knew him as Hideo Itami, and we both hurt our shoulders the same exact time. And when he said he didn't wrestle the way he wanted to wrestle in WWE, and he just had a string of bad luck when it came to injuries, and like his style is very, strike heavy, and he's not a high flyer or anything, but Kenta he's an awesome guy. And me and him, we rehabbed our shoulders like close to the same exact time. So, I mean, he's one of my good buddies. So if he claims that he wasn't allowed to do, I'm sure a lot of it was because of the injuries.
It could be.
So part of the reason why I think they held him back is because he was getting hurt. And when you get hurt almost to a point, they're going to try to keep you as healthy just for...
And right in your style a little bit probably. Huh?
Yeah, just for those reasons alone. So... I hope he does really well. Kenta is an awesome guy, and he, like where I read that he still lives in the United States.
Yeah,
like
he still wants to live
he's
here,
just
yeah.
going to still live here. Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
Yeah.
I really like him a lot.
He was. I didn't read the whole interview, but he was talking about how they wouldn't let him do the GTS. He says move I invented. I don't know if that was just strictly after he broke or Kendrick got his orbital bone broken taking the move or not. I don't know.
No, man. Well, great. You know what's going to happen if I ever go to WWE? They're going to take away my finisher because it's similar to the GT. Great. This is great. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I hope not. I love that move.
It's a great move.
That's my move.
It's a great move. Be like him. He's like, I invented the GTS, and now they won't let me use it.
No, they won't let me. That sucks, dude.
And you got your move. You make your name, dropping everybody with that move. You get back there, and they're like, yeah, sorry, you can't do that.
That happens a lot with a lot of guys, though, where they have like this really distinguished finish, and it's either they came up with it or like they have a concept of their own finish, and it gets taken away. That happens a lot with a lot of guys. So,
is that why Sammy couldn't do the brainbuster on the top turnbuckle anymore?
Oh, I'm sure, and it just looks terrifying.
It does look terrifying.
That move looks horrible, and it's like, I think also who is he gonna hit that on that can take that move?
Yeah, no, it's different. It's a different landscape in WWE. When everybody's pretty huge.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I can see him hitting on.
Yeah. What was interesting, and this is kind of a side conversation here, but maybe you know something about this. So Samoa Joe had that unfortunate accident with Tyson Kidd with the muscle buster.
Yeah.
During a dark match.
Yeah.
In NXT, they still let him do it though.
Yeah.
After that, but once he got the main, it was like, no way.
Yeah.
Seemingly.
Yeah.
Is it a situation where in NXT maybe they can rehearse the matches a lot more? But that just kind of seemed like a freak thing with Tyson Kidd.
I think it was kind of a freak thing because, like, for instance, Tyson Kidd's been wrestling for years, long time. And it was a freak thing that would have happened with Samoa Joe because I also saw Samoa Joe hit the same move on Riddick Moss, who's been wrestling way longer than Tyson Kidd. Like Riddick was probably maybe 2 years, and he gets hit with the same move.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just, also too, all the rings are different.
That's true.
I slammed a guy the other day, and he got hurt from the slam because one of the boards was uneven in the ring. So you got to be careful about how rings are set up. And it just takes one of the guys not to put the board down the right way for someone to get slammed, then something can get messed. Something bad could happen. Yeah. I do know the NXT rings are a lot different than you would see at like house shows and like, because a lot of the time when they do TV tapings, they layer those rings up with a bunch of canvases. Yeah. Because what they will do in between sets, like when they go to the next episode, they untie one of the canvases, yank that one out, and then you'd have another one under it. So they layer like maybe 3 or 4 layers of canvases.
Another like half-inch of padding on there.
Yeah, like another. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what that ring scenario was, and this is a real thing. Like when training, they talk about that. Like if something breaks or snaps in the ring, you have to work around it until they're able to fix it after the match. Like you can't just, timeout, something's wrong with the ring, we gotta wait. It's like, no, you just have to carry on. So I don't know if it was a case where something with the ring was janky, their timing was off. I mean, that type of stuff happens all the time. And that's the thing about, you sometimes you gotta call an audible and you gotta work around stuff a lot. Yeah. So yeah, I don't really know what that scenario was as far as like, they took away that move, and Muscle Buster's awesome.
It is. It's really awesome.
So
it is really awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Seth Rollins story. This is our feel good story to end the news part of the show before we go to questions. And we talked about this quite a bit last week, where Seth was just going on. He was on fire on Twitter. He was burning it down.
Yeah, burn it.
Talking up WWE, talking up himself, hyping up the locker room, saying that WWE was the best pro wrestling in the entire world. And then he took it to Will Ospreay after Will Ospreay was like, "Hey, I'm alive. I'm
because he said nobody alive can do what I do." And then Will Ospreay writes, "Well, I'm alive.
I'm alive. I'm in the same league as you, Seth." And he made some jab about him Seth having more money or something like that. Seth did. Anyways, a couple days ago, that's what Seth tweeted. Quote, after a few days of sitting on it, I'd like to apologize to Will Ospreay for the tweet I sent his way about comparing bank accounts. It was dumb of me and not in line with my values. The moment I pressed the send button, I knew it was trash, but I'm too stubborn for my own good. He continued in 2 other tweets. I stand firm in my sentiments that WWE is the best pro wrestling on the planet, and I'm the best of the best doing it right now. After a hell of a week of travel, our crew didn't waver for a second. Top-level humans busting their asses for the love of the game. I couldn't be more proud to be champion with this company and represent WWE in the entire industry in the way it deserves. No more garbage tweets. I can and will do better. Will responded. Quote, apology accepted. Just buy me some Nando's. Winky face. Honestly, nothing but respect for you, sir. Just a bit of banter in my mind. I've followed your career since you were Tyler Black. I know it's not all the money and it's about the love. Keep flying your flag and having fun. And just, like the stuff between Will and Seth just seemed like friendly trash talk.
Yeah.
It didn't really seem like anything more than that.
Yeah, I don't. You know what happened? Seth was getting a little cocky, and then he just reminded, oh, you know what? This is out of my character. I need to be really geeky and nerdy right now and apologize.
I know.
Oh, come on, man. I was cool with him kind of doing that, you know, talking smack.
Yeah,
let's compare bank accounts, bro. Like,
yeah, that's no problem at all.
it's true though, you know.
Oh, I know.
Like that's the thing, and then obviously they told him to apologize because just it's out of your character, Seth. Don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk, Seth. You know, and then he apologized, and then
the only issue I took with anything Seth said is not, as far as him saying he's great, locker room's great, best pro wrestling. That's fine. He's cheerleading for his company. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
It's when he's going around calling people nerds and dorks for being in any way critical of WWE. Well, you don't know what's going on there.
That part was dumb, especially when you just had Dean Ambrose, John Moxley kind of sing the praises of what everyone's been thinking.
Exactly.
So
not just that, validating every single thing.
Validating it.
And then Seth's like, no. And then kind of he burns Mox down a little bit in an SI interview, kind of talks some trash, saying he took his ball and went home.
Yeah, his contract ran up.
I know.
He didn't want to resign.
I know.
That's whatever. But, I mean, yeah, I thought that was pretty funny that they had this little thing.
Oh, that was funny, yeah.
You know, that's all. And then what happened is Will Ospreay got like how many followers after that? Ton after that because of that, which made him more well known as far as like with the casual viewers that probably don't follow New Japan.
Yep.
And they're like, well, who's this guy? Will Ospreay. I'm gonna give him a follow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this guy's amazing.
He's amazing. He does things I never thought were possible. But not a 630 out of the ring through a table.
Yeah.
Let's take some questions. First, we got one from Jeffrey Nguyen. Says, happy birthday, Adam Cole, baby.
Hey, happy birthday.
Happy
Adam
birthday,
Cole.
Adam Cole.
Hopefully him and Britt Baker have a nice little birthday.
Yes. Agreed. Next, I lost my spot. There we go. VFL, AFL, Football Australian rules. There was a bit of dusty in Cody's booking. That's one thing Meltzer mentioned in the newsletter too. It was actually that he feels like Cody's taken a page out of, I think he said Eddie Gilbert back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I guess Cody said he credits the idea that he doesn't use. You said a buffet is what you compared it to, and
yep.
That wasn't the exact terminology that was used in the newsletter, but it was something comparable, like a smorgasbord or something.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of everything for everybody.
Yeah. I say buffet because that's what Sammy Callahan says about it when he does Rockstar Pro at his promotion. It's like a buffet, man. You can get anything you want. We got a little bit of this, we got a little bit of that. Yeah. So, but no, he's saying like there's a little bit of dusty in Cody's booking as far as like in Cody's own booking or just in general with like AEW.
That's a good question.
Because I definitely can tell in AEW that there is kind of everything you want as far as a promotion goes. And like, I can't help myself. I like to listen to the Cornette podcast to hear what he rambles about. Because like, you know, a lot of people dog on Cornette, and which they should in a lot of reasons, but it's just curious to see what he's going to say about, you know, Fyter Fest.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get the concept of the buffet.
No, he thinks wrestling should be one thing.
It should be one thing when it's like, it shouldn't be. It should be a whole bunch of different things because wrestling's art. It's like whatever kind of match you want, you get. Like, I liked the Nakasawa match with the CEO guy because it's like,
it was silly. It was supposed to be taken seriously.
It was, exactly.
Yeah, I know. And that's Cornette's so out of touch.
And maybe it's
in
part
a lot of ways.
My inner hood slam in me because we do have a lot of matches very similar to that. It's like, dude, if you're entertained and you enjoy it, just take it for what it is. Like, don't have to.
It doesn't have to be two huge men in the ring pretending to fight.
Yeah.
It can be a lot of different things.
I mean, wrestling, it's just two guys in their underwear going at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's silly, but it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to take it for what it is. And I
Exactly.
could see where Cody wants a little bit of everything so that everyone could watch a match they will enjoy for that reason alone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can definitely see it because Dusty is big on characters.
Mm-hmm.
Dusty's big on stories. And that's what it's all about, having a good character, having a good story. And a lot of the time, the wrestling will take care of itself. But that regard, you will have matches in AEW where there's going to be more wrestling based. There's going to be a little bit more character based. And then for Cody, a lot of story.
And blood.
Yeah. So I can see that.
Yeah. Dylan Haggett, hey friendos, either of you start Stranger Things 3? You were telling me before we started that you had started it.
Yes, I did. I watched the first 2 episodes. And then I watched part of the third. So yeah, started watching it. So far it's okay.
A lot of screaming, you told me.
The dude plays the sheriff. Just like he's mad and pissed the whole time. And it's not even about like the situation with the what are those creatures are, the gourmet I don't even know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's always pissed. So I mean, so far it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But obviously later when I get home, I'll probably watch a little bit more. It was okay. I'm still, I reserve any more judgment on it
Until you finish
until
the
I
season.
finish it.
Gotcha.
Then I'll
We'll
sure.
revisit it on Monday maybe.
Yeah.
Hi Mason, this is Elias from Discord here. For some reason, I don't see the whole pull behind the Young Bucks as heels besides annoying. That's kind of their heel persona. It's just kind of annoying. It kind of has been since as long as I've been familiar with their heel work. I mean, in New Japan, they were heels.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they were just screaming, talking trash the entire time.
Suck it, yeah.
During matches or during moves. The man of constant sorrow, Elias. I'm actually going to the G1 kickoff tomorrow. Awesome.
That's cool.
Have a blast. The couple of New Japan shows I've been to have been awesome. Dylan again. Can you guys assign stips to the ER card? Oh, to the match card at Extreme Rules? Beyond the stipulations already announced? To use this keyboard here. You would think something like a different keyboard would make a huge difference.
Yeah.
But it does. To actually watch what I'm typing on.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Extreme Rules. This is what's the card so far. Well, the Seth and Becky versus Baron and Lacey Evans match, that already has a stipulation. That's Extreme Rules. Taker and Reigns taking on Shane and Drew. That's no holds barred. All right, what's a good... we've heard a ladder match maybe for Kofi versus Joe. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Because then that way no one has to take a pin. Bailey versus Alexa Bliss. That should be the kendo stick on a pole match again. Revisit that one.
No.
I was there for. I that was terrible.
Oh, it
That
looked
was awful.
Because Bailey's like, should I hit her? But it's out of my character.
That's why they
to hit
needed it
her.
again, where Bailey had
I don't
no,
want to. I just want to give hugs.
no second thought. Just
Bailey, you're
hit
done
her.
with a hugger. You
her.
said to Sasha Banks, "You ain't shit."
You ain't shit. And that was
That's the
great.
kind of attitude I want my Bailey. So she needs to take that kendo stick and just
Yeah.
wallop Alexa.
Next is Drew Gulak taking on Tony Nese. It'd be cool if this was a submission match, even though I know Tony Nese isn't exactly noted for his submission expertise.
And neither was Stone Cold against Bret Hart.
That's true. And then the only other match announced, Daniel Bryan and Rowan taking on the New Day, taking on Heavy Machinery.
Yeah, Tucky! Otis. Little brother. Little brother Otis.
It'd be cool if they did like an elimination tag match where it wasn't so much like if one person gets eliminated, then that team's out.
Yeah.
Just have like a 3/4, essentially like a Survivor Series type thing, where one member of the team can eliminate, but the other team member's still in there.
That would be great. Because I know in the end it would be Big E, Daniel Bryan, and Otis. That would be the final 3.
And especially if you really want to get some babyface heat on Otis. I mean,
Yeah.
Have Tucky taken out relatively early.
Yep.
And have him be in several situations where he has to clean house.
Yeah. Giving out left-hand lariats.
Exactly. Doing caterpillars and everybody. Logan M. Am I the only one who thinks an edgy show sounds cringy as hell? PG wasn't a problem as much as stagnation and dilution at upper levels with competition. Yeah, I don't think the television rating is an issue per se. It's just you can do interesting creative stuff within the confines of TV PG or TV 14, wherever the heck they're at. A family-friendly approach, but he's totally right. Just creatively, it was inert, not interesting. That's really the issue. But if they really want to appeal to, if they think having an edgier product will appeal to that demographic, and they need that demographic to improve their ratings and their viewership numbers, and I guess that's what they're going to do. You always worry when they do salacious stuff. They're going to do something that's cringy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we're going from the PG era to the WTF era.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, what the?
Yeah,
really,
I don't know.
What is going on? Oh, okay.
The whole Mike and Maria stuff kind of came out of left field.
Yeah, that was like a big WTF. Like,
a little
what?
bit, yeah.
What the?
Yeah. The villain Alan Black, they should have Matt Hardy win the 24/7 title and defend it at the Hardy compound. That's a good idea.
That would be cool.
Especially his history with Drake Maverick. Oh, you can have King Maxwell pin Drake and be the 24/7 champion.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, that's a great idea because they've been doing so much offset stuff with that title. Mm-hmm. And it would be hilarious to see R-Truth at the Hardy compound.
Oh, that'd be great.
Especially like if they had Woken, whatever. I'm going to call him Broken Matt Hardy with R-Truth and see how they like talk. And like, I think R-Truth lives in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
So like, it wouldn't be that far of a travel or a trek for him to do all that stuff. It would be awesome.
That would be pretty cool.
God, that'd be great. They need to do that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Norgangi was asked, wasn't the third hour of Raw supposed to be different? That lasted about a week and a half, which was a huge disappointment. Because I liked when that bit where they dropped the house lights down, so it made it feel more like a house show in the arena. They simplified the graphics, so it was just the Raw logo on black background, that kind of stuff. I thought that was really cool.
Well, it's just like at NXT when they do tapings and takeover, they dim down the lights. It changes the ambience in the show, and it gives it that big fight feel. Because I know like the UFC, they do the exact same thing. Yeah. They dim down the lights, they put all the focus in the ring. Yeah. So
I mean, back in the Attitude Era, when they let you have signs,
then they would
keep the house lights on pretty much the whole
people
time.
Can see the signs and stuff.
But nowadays, where either it doesn't happen or they don't let it happen.
They don't bring a lot of signs in because there's always a chance someone's gonna have a sign that's gonna take away from the show or just draw attention elsewhere. Yeah. So.
But also, I wonder if that's a measure of enthusiasm level too from the audience.
That too, because that takes time to put together like a really awesome sign.
I remember the first night show. The first show I went to was a Raw out in Davis in early '98. And that was kind of I didn't know what to expect. It was crazy.
I mean, so where did they have it in Davis?
At the event center, I think.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was a little place.
Yeah.
And then like a month later, we went to Nitro.
Yeah.
And so we all spent a whole afternoon. We were in college, so we had time. We just skipped class probably. Making signs, getting crazy for it.
Yeah.
That was a fun show too. That was the show where Scott Steiner joined the NWO.
Oh, that's awesome. Scott Steiner's great.
He debuted his new look.
One of my old college coaches coached him in college.
Oh yeah,
when he was at Michigan. Yeah, and I was like, he passed away, but his name was Joe Wells, and he was like the assistant coach at Michigan. The same time, both Scott and Rick were there. So like he gave me a couple funny stories about those guys when they were in college that you can't get anywhere else, only me, because it came from Joe Wells.
There you go.
Who was their old coach at Michigan.
That's funny.
Coached me for a little bit.
All right, I think that's good. That's it for now. Patrons, YouTube channel members, stay tuned. We're going to do Ask Cal and Larson, non-wrestling talk.
Yes.
After this.
This will be fun.
And then we got something, I think, pretty special planned to shoot later today that's going up on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. You guys will have a chance to kind of get to know a little bit of my experience how I got picked up for NXT and how all that went. And then, as far as like breaking ground goes, I'm not gonna go into that as much, but I will say you guys should go watch Breaking Ground when you have the chance, just to get to know me and what the wrestlers kind of went through, because like it is was Hard Knocks, the NFL's. It's similar to that.
Yeah, it is.
And also the same people I think that did the show Bar Rescue filmed Breaking Ground.
Oh, okay.
So that same company that does Bar Rescue did the show Breaking Ground, and that I love the show Bar Rescue. Yeah. I think it's awesome. Yeah. But if you guys, I will kind of go into that more, but I'll tell you guys how my tryout was, the experience of that, and then going from as a amateur wrestler that didn't know anything to learning how to be somewhat of a NXT guy, what that process was like. So that's gonna come out on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. We'll do that after lunch today.
Yep.
Anyways, until then, goodbye. We'll see you later.
Have a good weekend.
Be a part of Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steven Larson. Starting at $1 a month, you can enjoy Going In Raw ad-free, gain access to the daily 30-minute Going In Raw post-show, exclusive merchandise, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.